The Parliament has passed a bill providing 10% reservation to the economically weaker sections of the general category. Many people have said yay and many others said nay, but here in Tamil Nadu, it's a completely different ballgame. I'm coming to you from the Vellore fort, a 16th century fort built by the Vijayanagara kings, a landmark for the city. I'm joined here by a couple of students, entrepreneurs, IT employees, and let's find out what they think of the bill and how much would the implementation actually impact the lives of both general category and the whole idea of reservation itself. So tell me your first thoughts on this bill. Do you think this will work?
I think it's a good thing.
And why do you think this will work?
Actually, for the first time when I heard, it sounded good. Like, okay, fine, there's some good initiative taken. But as I started looking deeper into it, I don't know, the criteria itself in the first place didn't work. So I was not satisfied with it.
So the criteria states that the household income should be 8 lakhs per annum or lesser, and other nuances about the land that's occupied. So why do you think the criteria itself is a problem there?
Because it brings a whole of India into it. Like, for a developing nation, 8 lakhs is nominal. A nominal family earns about 8 lakhs per annum. So it is not economically backward for India. So the criteria does not satisfy the law.
Taking forward what she just talked about, in India, say the average per capita income is somewhere around 10,000, and here we're talking about, say, 66,000 per month. So do we term this as economically backward? Do you think the criteria that they've set is justified? What do you think should actually be the criteria for it to work?
The criteria should be changed a bit, but just because the criteria is not right, this should not be struck down. The bill should be welcome, but there should be some changes in the criteria, and the implementation is also very hard given such a large population in India. But only if the upper castes are given privileges, like they are upper caste and then they are given reservation, then it is wrong. But only if the upper caste poor people are given the reservation, then I very much welcome it.
Okay, so far reservation has always been on the grounds of caste and religion. This is the first time economic criteria has been the reason why a reservation has passed with almost a full majority, and also has become a law, but its states are yet to ratify. So how do you think is the right criteria to actually bring reservation inside?
Yes, it's actually a good idea, but the time was not appropriate.
And why do you say so?
Elections are nearby. Within 100 years there is Lok Sabha elections, and now they are implementing this bill. They could have done it before 2 years itself.
The implementation of the bill is itself questionable considering the number of opportunities that are available. Madhu, what did you have to say about it?
Well, it's a good thing considering that many of the sections are in the economically backward classes. But again, like the fellow mate said, it's all about how at what time it has implemented, and the political reasons makes you again think about will it work or not. So let's see how it goes ahead.
In fact, the reason why I said Tamil Nadu, the entire scene is a different ball game, is because there are SC, ST, MBC, OBC, BC laws was 69%. In fact, the Supreme Court had given a cap that there will be only 50% reservation that will be allowed. But Tamil Nadu has been the only state which has got that permission, and now adding another 10%, 79%. What do you have to say about that figure?
79% doesn't seem to be much in Tamil Nadu, because the population of the forward caste in Tamil Nadu is comparatively low compared to the other states. That's why the political parties from Tamil Nadu are opposing it without any problem, because they're not much bothered about the vote bank of the forward caste people of Tamil Nadu. They're more concerned about the vote bank of the people who are already in the reserved section. This is indeed a political stunt, but is it a good stunt or not? And why the opposition parties are not opposing it? Because it's not like they're approving it. They're just not opposing it. That's all. Even they need the vote bank. Clearly, the five elections recently held, the election results, the deciding factors was those votes. So that's the main reason. What we need to mainly consider in this thing is the criteria fixed for this. 8 lakhs, 1,000 square feet of household. 8 lakhs is not the same in Vellore, and 8 lakhs is not the same in Chennai for expenses. 1,000 square feet of house is not the same price in Vellore. 1,000 square feet of house is not the same price in Chennai or Bangalore. So this criteria needs to be scrutinized much.
The Supreme Court has admitted a plea filed that is challenging the entire reservation, and they've even sent a notice to the centre. So do you think that there will be enough forces to challenge this, and do you think it should be stopped, or what should be the correction that needs to be done in terms of criteria?
Well, as he said, there were previous cases of this being challenged in the court. Supreme Court actually. But the one difference this time it has been done is, first time in the last time, like in the Indira Sawhney case, it was passed by, I believe it was Narasimha Rao, the Prime Minister back then, and it was just a executive order. Executive order as in he just wrote, or it was his recommendations of what has to be done. But considering this point of time, it's not an executive order, but rather it's a constitution amendment itself. When the case went to Supreme Court, they said, like as you pointed out, economic weakness cannot be ignored. But this time they have amended the constitution itself. So when it goes to court, all the court can do is recommend to change the constitution. But again, like I said, it has been introduced on the last day of the session. So it had to pass, and it has passed.
I think some of the people sitting here, you're all going to face colleges very soon. You're all in 12th grade, 11th grade, and that's when you will be first face to face with the idea of reservation. On which side of the fence you will be, that I might not be able to tell, but how prepared are you for this, and how do you think that actually you think will impact your chances to get into an educational institution and later for a job?
This 10% reservation will be a good, I think so. I may get in that 10% reservation, I think so.
What about you? What did you think?
Actually, this 10% reservation covers mostly some 95% of the country. So there's going to be a lot of competition.
This dilutes the entire idea of reservation.
When you have to put cash and caste in the same system, what should happen is, when those people using the backward reservation, when they come to a proper position, they should be cancelled off that thing. So in that case, even these people who are taking this EWS 10% itself, if they earn and they move out of that category, they should come out and everyone should fall under the general population, so that the remaining backward population who had never had an opportunity to avail that opportunity, they can use that.
When the constitution was first created, Ambedkar actually told that it should only be for 10 years. But that 10 years was not sufficient, hence it was prolonged. Now it has been going on for more than 70 years. So the lower castes have already uplifted themselves. Even in the upper caste, there are people who are poor. So they have to uplift themselves, and for them this will be way for them to uplift themselves. And then finally maybe everybody can come under the same category and fall in the same economic bill, and then even after that maybe it will take a lot of time given such a large population. Maybe reservation itself can be removed, and people should be judged on their skill and merit. It should be like that. It should not be reservation, and everybody should be given the equal opportunities.
This actually brings a very larger question, which I'd like to ask these people and then go ahead to students who are first facing the idea of reservation. Do you think we are nearing 2020, and growing up we've always heard 2020 to be the model year, but do you think India is ready to say no to reservation?
There is one famous quote, if your ancestors were handicapped, why do you need wheelchairs?
Of course, if my grandfather was born a handicap, I wouldn't be asking for a wheelchair. But he was not born in a handicap. His legs were broken. Broken by who? People in the upper caste. So I will be asking reservation. And why do you still need reservation? So long years, thousands of years of discrimination in names of caste. No one batted an eye. 60 plus years of reservation, and everyone is losing their minds. First of all, what his knowledge of reservation is what I had about reservation during my school days. What should we really do is we should make reservation a class. You should educate children, school children especially, about reservation. Why reservation, what for reservation, and for whom for reservation. Why are we bringing reservation? We should educate them. Annal Ambedkar's thoughts, vision, everything is same. Only through education there can be enlightenment. And frankly saying, we need at least 2 or 3 generations more to eradicate this reservation. Of course, I feel a reservation should be eradicated, but before eradicating reservation, we should eradicate caste.
Problem arises when there is a vast cutoff difference. Like if it's 70 out of 100 for a general category, it's for hardly 30 or 35 for the average when it compared to the all backwards. Thing is, I don't have a problem with that. But the thing is, they themselves face problem when they get into premier institutions like NIT or IIT. It's like, what's the point? Once you get inside, you have to study, you have to perform. But they are unable to do that. Sometimes there are many suicide cases which people aren't getting jobs. So these are also the other things which has to be seen at the hindsight of after what happens after he gets a reservation. Does he actually come up, or it's just again political gains or something?
So yeah, when we're talking about political gains, do you think reservation, this particular bill has won brownie points for the Modi government, or both parties?
It doesn't matter if it's 10% reservation or 50% reservation. All people need is opportunities.
Okay, that's what the people of Vellore had to say. Quite divided in their opinions, if you ask me. But I think one thing that they all agree upon is that the criteria don't perfectly fit to actually benefit the larger section of the economically weaker sections of the general category. This is me signing off from Vellore, Smita TK for the Quint.